Please join me in prayer. Holy One, we gather this evening under the umbrella of your love and care. As we begin this ceremony, this celebration, we offer our prayers and our thanks. We give thanks for the gifts of wisdom and learning. We offer our thanks for those who have shared their gifts of leading and teaching, professors, faculty members, administrators, counselors, coaches. We give you thanks for those who have loved and supported us for many years, fathers, mothers, family, and friends. As we gather, we remember with gratitude and grace those unable to be here with us this day. Surely you are in this place as we gather and as we celebrate. Amen. Please be seated. Thank you.
All right, go girls.
Oh, gosh. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Justice Rita Garman, members of the Board of Trustees, administration, faculty, families, friends, and my fellow graduating class of 2015. Woo! It's an honor for us to be in front of you this evening. Now, let's all just take a deep breath and forget for a moment the stresses of work, the responsibilities at home, and the realities of this world. Let's slow down and appreciate this moment in time. We all made it here tonight, and we're celebrating the best and the brightest. This room is filled with 300 minds that have endless frontiers in front of them. Let's slow down and realize the moment of tonight.
I know, as excited graduates, we all want to attain our goals, hopes, and dreams. However, some of us, probably all of us, worry that we'll never get there because we'll simply never be good enough. In the field of social psychology, there is a concept called great person theory. This theory states that certain people with very specific personalities are the people who are likely to become leaders. Great person theory has been debunked thoroughly by social psychologists. There is no set combination of traits that will create a great leader. And you all know what that means. We are all on a level playing field. We are already all Parkland graduates. So, what might stop us from that next step to becoming great?
Well, let's all think about this some. Open your minds while I present to you an analogy. Does everyone know about the journey westward in the mid-1800s? When regular people uprooted their lives and made the trek west across the United States, not knowing what may lie ahead. Imagine stepping onto a trail and following it with a wagon for the next 2,000 miles. Put yourselves in the lives of these people while I ask one question. If I took each one of you back to this time period, could you join the journey westward? Excluding all other factors other than yourself and your own limitations. Could you be a part of history and explore a new frontier? Possibly only if you could bring your own smartphone, right? See where I'm getting at? If you answered no, imagine what would have happened if all the people back then also answered the same question with a no. Where would we be today? Past lives said yes to traveling through straight wilderness and uncharted territory with complete strangers. Today, we have instant communication, air conditioning, hotels, Google, and so much more, but we find ourselves saying no more times than yes to witnessing new experiences. By saying no today, what boundaries are we creating for ourselves and our society? As graduates, knowing that there are no prisons as strong as the ones we create for ourselves, how can we break out and become limitless and become great people? Parkland College, throughout our classes, interactions, and the stress it gave us, now that I think back, it really did give us the knowledge and the foundation we need to become great.
And great is a complicated concept. Often, it is easy to look at great people and think, I could never be like that. I could never be as inspiring and determined as Maya Angelou, as brave as Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., or as kind as Helen Keller. But that isn't the case. All of these incredibly interesting historical people, the role models we base our actions on today, were just people. And don't think that you have to be famous to be great. I'm guessing that the majority of you have heard of Benjamin Franklin. But how many of you have heard of Benjamin Franklin's sister, Jane? My wonderful history teacher loaned me his copy of Book of Ages by Jill Lepore, which is all about Jane Franklin. While Benjamin Franklin was engaged in work as America's ambassador to France, his younger sister, Jane, remained behind. Despite having to stay at home, she maintained a boundless curiosity. And to me, Jane's curiosity, in a time when she was supposed to busy herself with housework, is as extraordinary as her brother's famous activities. As the enlightened critic Anton Ego comments in the film Ratatouille, not everyone can become a great artist, but a great artist can come from anywhere. A great person could easily come from Parkland College, and who knows what we are capable of. Perhaps one of us will contribute to the research team trying to cure cancer. Perhaps one of us will write an incredible novel. And perhaps one of us will quietly go through life, never doing anything flamboyantly great, but instead bringing joy to all who surround him or her. That's greatness too.
And as I mentioned before, we are all able to become limitless at any moment. It is all just up to us. Parkland has given us the strength. The question is now, do we dare take that leap into unlocking the frontiers that lay inside of us? As Maya Angelou, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and Helen Keller. We must explore without fear our limits in order to push past them. The frontiers ahead, graduates, are large, but only if we are brave enough to begin them.
Photographer and artist Ansel Adams once commented, "In wisdom I have gained over time, I have found that every experience is a form of exploration." Through Parkland, we have shared so many experiences with each other and explored so much, and we are so fortunate to have shared the experience at Parkland with all of you. Congratulations, everyone, and we wish you all the best. It is now my pleasure to introduce Mr. Dana Trimble. Mr. Dana Trimble has been a member of the Parkland Board of Trustees since 1999 and currently is the chairman of the board. He works for Cargill as a marketing advisor to area farmers. Mr. Trimble graduated from the University of Illinois in 1972 with a Bachelor of Science in Animal Science and Agricultural Economics, and received his master's degree in 1974 in animal science. Assisted by various courses at Parkland College, Mr. Trimble has enjoyed diverse careers starting with farming, seed corn production, hazardous waste, banking, and now back to agriculture. Mr. Trimble and his wife, Binny, have 3 children: Carrie, an assistant professor at Millikan University, Joshua, a lieutenant colonel in the U.S. Army Signal Corps, and Sarah, a teacher at Columbia Academy who is married to a U.S. Army lieutenant colonel in military intelligence. All 3 children are Parkland College for Kids alumni and received their undergraduate degrees from the University of Illinois. Mr. Trimble served 14 years on the Newman Community School District School Board and was the president of that board for 8 years. He is a member of the Lions Club and is a lay speaker at the Newman United Methodist Church. Mr. Trimble also is a member of the Gene Trimble Orchestra, and his hobbies include family, music, and travel. Please join me in welcoming Dana Trimble.
Good job, ladies. Graduates, Dr. Ramage, faculty, distinguished guests, family, and friends of Parkland College. On behalf of Parkland's Board of Trustees, I extend our warmest greetings. At this time, I would ask that each of you make sure that your cell phones are turned off for the benefit of the graduates, or at least silenced. You can still take pictures, but please silence them. This commencement ceremony is being broadcast live over the Parkland Channel, which is available in 9 communities and the University of Illinois in Champaign County. In addition, it is being video streamed by way of the internet for the benefit of our students and their families, including those who are in other countries. At this time, it is my pleasure to introduce my fellow trustees. James Ayers from Monticello, Donna Gertz from Champaign, Bianca Green from Champaign, Tim Johnson from Urbana, Gregory Knott from St. Joseph, Jim Voiles from Tuscola, and Sean Campbell, our student trustee from Champaign. We hope that your experience at Parkland has been one of the best of your lives. You should be very proud of what you have accomplished. We certainly are. Congratulations and best of luck to Parkland's proud class of 2015.
Good evening. Tom Ramage joined Parkland College in July of 1998 as chair of the newly created Distance and Virtual Learning Department, responsible for developing and administering Parkland's online course delivery and systems and policies. He received his master's degree in education and human development with a specialization in educational technology leadership from the George Washington University in 1998, and a doctorate in education with the specialization in instructional technology and distance education from Nova Southeastern University. His research focused on cost efficiency and return on investment of online programs. Since June of 2007, Tom served as interim president of Parkland College. The Board of Trustees appointed Dr. Ramage as Parkland's 5th president in January 2008. Tom served as Chief Executive Officer of Parkland College and is responsible to the Board of Trustees of Community College District 505 to implement the philosophy, goals, and policies of Parkland College with nearly 1,000 employees serving 11,000 students each semester. Tom is married to Michelle, superintendent of Rentoul School District, and together they have a 21-year-old son, Colin. I now present to you President Tom Ramage.
Thank you, Sean. Appreciate it.
Well, good evening. Thank you very much, Sean, for that introduction. I'd like to begin with some congratulations. And first, I'd like to congratulate our graduates this evening and to the family and friends that have gathered here with you tonight to celebrate. I'm sure each of you know well and good that good decisions have lasting consequences. Actually, that's what I said to the students who attended our honors convocation earlier this morning. And I also said that coming to Parkland College was and remains an excellent decision. You've studied with some of the finest faculty in the nation, focused on one thing, the art and the science of teaching and learning. You've worked with staff from the very moment that you've set foot on campus up until this very moment who are dedicated themselves to ensuring that your success was achieved in every way possible. You've been constantly reminded, perhaps even badgered, about how important it is to follow through, to persevere, and that becoming an educated person is an enormous accomplishment. And without a doubt, all that is indeed true, but you may have experienced some other things along the way, like satisfaction, like the kind that comes after you finish something difficult, finishing a semester, finishing an A with honors project, that's gigantic, and completing your degree, that's an enormous accomplishment. Well done. I have no doubt that tomorrow you'll each continue to make those good decisions, to persevere and to enjoy the sense of satisfaction that follows. But tonight you'll be joining the ranks of thousands and thousands of Parkland College graduates since our very first commencement in May of 1968. Trust me, everybody in this great hall tonight is very proud of your accomplishments. But tomorrow, your first day as a graduate of Parkland College begins. So do great things. It's now my pleasure to introduce the commencement speaker for tonight. Rita B. Garman's distinguished career in law spans more than 4 decades. She was first appointed to the state's highest court in 2001 and subsequently elected to that court in 2002. Since 2013, she has served as the 119th Chief Justice of the Illinois Supreme Court. Chief Justice Garmon served on the Illinois Appellate Court, 4th District, for 6 years, as a Vermilion County Circuit Judge from 1986 through 1995, and as presiding judge from 1987 onward. Prior to the Appellate Court, Justice Garmon was an Associate Circuit Judge for 12 years and served as the Vermilion County State's Assistant State's Attorney from 1969 through 1973. She was also engaged in private practice with Sabat Swanson, Banks, Lesson, and Garmon. An Aurora native, Chief Justice Garmon was a valedictorian of the Oswego High School in 1961. She earned a Bachelor's of Science in Economics with highest honors, bronze tablet, from the University of Illinois in 1965, and completed her Juris Doctorate degree with distinction from the University of Iowa College of Law in 1968. She is also a member of the Vermilion County, Illinois, and Iowa State Bar Associations, as well as the Illinois Judges Association. My wife and I have had the distinct pleasure of knowing Chief Justice Garmon and her family for several decades, and it remains my very great honor to introduce her to you tonight. Chief Justice Garmon.
Members of the class of 2015, Dr. Ramage, Reverend Hilliers, members of the Board of Trustees and the faculty and staff, and importantly, family and friends, good evening. It is a pleasure for me to be with you tonight as you mark this milestone in a new beginning. You will note on the program that today's event's called a commencement, not a graduation. There is a difference between the two, and it's worth recognizing. Technically, graduation occurs when the student completes all of the requirements for earning a certificate or a degree, and the institution certifies this accomplishment on the official transcript. Commencement is the ceremony itself. One could graduate without commencing, but I'm so glad that each one of you here tonight decided to be here to celebrate your graduations. The word commencement refers not only to a graduation ceremony, but to any new beginning. Your graduation is not an end. It is a new beginning, perhaps a new career or a next step in pursuing higher education. And I am tremendously honored to be a part of this significant step in your lives. I was an undergraduate at the University of Illinois when there began to be talk of a community and in the community and articles in the newspaper about a new community college that would be called Parkland. I graduated from the University of Illinois in the spring of 1965, and in the fall of 1967, the first students lined up to register for classes. I could not have imagined that almost 50 years later, Parkland College would have grown so much and achieved so much, or that I'd be standing here before the graduating class. My graduating class in college and law school cannot be described as diverse. Indeed, you could have counted the women and the minority students on your fingers. It is inspiring and reassuring to see such a diverse group of graduates. Some of you are young. Some are, shall we say, more mature. Some are married, some are parents, and perhaps some are even grandparents. There are veterans in this class, those who are changing careers out of desire or out of necessity. And there are those who took a detour in life for one reason or another. Yet all of you have one thing in common. You set a goal for yourself, and now you've achieved it. This is a cause for celebration, and I want to be the first to applaud your success. But no one in this graduating class got here entirely on his or her own. Many of you were encouraged by parents, spouses, or children. You may have had good friends who lifted your spirits when when you were losing confidence. You were all supported by dedicated teachers who invested in your success. So this is your opportunity to offer them thanks and gratitude for their support of you. And you're all dressed up in those fancy gowns and wearing funny hats. That gives us something in common, because I wear a black robe very similar to yours every time I sit on the bench and every time I perform a judicial function. It's not entirely clear why judges wear robes. It seemed to have started about 700 years ago in England. We borrowed it from you. That is, it had already been a tradition for over 100 years for scholars to wear robes. When our new nation was founded, there was a debate about whether judges in our new country should continue to wear robes. Thomas Jefferson wanted to distance our judicial system from that of the English, and he suggested that judges wear regular suits to court. He thought this would be more democratic and less elitist. John Adams, who unlike Jefferson was a lawyer, wanted judges to continue to wear the traditional robes and wigs. The judicial regalia invited a certain level of respect for the judicial process, he thought, and having all judges dress alike would signal that justice is even-handed and consistent. They compromised, much to my relief, and decided that judges in the new country should wear robes, but not wigs. I never did like hat hair. So why are you wearing a robe today? What does it signify? This is another tradition we Americans borrowed from the old world and then changed. Traditionally, English and European college and university students wore robes every day, not just at graduation. Think of the students at Hogwarts. Harry Potter's robes were not wizard's robes, they were scholars' robes. The tradition of students wearing robes had a couple of sources. As a practical matter, many of the scholars were monks or priests who wore clerical vestments anyway. In addition, the buildings were cold and drafty, so that often students adopted a robe as a way of keeping themselves warm. As a symbolic matter, the robe hid the individual's clothing, which might reveal his wealth or social class. The academic robe was a great equalizer. All students were equal in standing and distinguished themselves not by their clothing, but by their efforts and their accomplishments. As with so many other traditions, our founders imported the academic robe, which was worn at New World colleges that were founded even before we gained independence. Over time, the gown was worn only on ceremonial occasions rather than every day. Thus, the robe you wear tonight is not only a symbol of your accomplishment, it is a symbol of the democracy of learning. Even if you do not go on to earn another degree, you are a scholar. By achieving this degree, you have demonstrated the ability to master new knowledge and skills, and as long as you have access to a good library and the internet, an interest in learning, and ambition, you can use the skills you've learned here at Parkland to teach yourself almost anything. But what about the hats? They're called mortarboards. During the late days of the Roman Republic, when a slave was freed, he was given a soft felt cap which symbolized his freedom as a citizen, with the right to vote. Now, at that time, of course, that didn't include women, only men. The cap, thus, came to symbolize the pursuit of liberty. Over time, the cap came to honor the dignity of learning and the intellectual freedom gained when one becomes a scholar. So this evening, when you're taking photographs in your caps and gowns, take a moment to appreciate where you stand in this long line of tradition dating back for centuries. You are scholars. You are learned people. You are free to pursue your dreams because you've demonstrated you have the ability and you have the incentive to learn whatever you need to learn to move forward in school, in work, and in life. It was suggested to me that I might talk tonight about the challenges I faced on my journey from attending high school in the small town of Oswego, Illinois, to becoming Chief Justice of the Illinois Supreme Court. I'm happy to share that story, but I've attended a lot of graduations in my day, and I really never enjoyed too much when the commencement address and the speaker began every sentence with the word I. So I'll spare you the long version, but as I share the short version, I want to share this observation. Life is a journey. No one rides for free, and we all reach the same destination in the end. What matters is what we do along the way. I did face obstacles pursuing a career in law, but I was fortunate to begin my journey with a strong foundation. My family wasn't wealthy, but we were comfortable. My dad was a small-town dentist who was sometimes paid in fresh eggs and garden produce. My mother helped in his office, but my brother and my sister and I were encouraged to do well in school and taught that we could pursue any goal that we chose. In short, while we were not rich, we were aware that we were privileged in a way that many of our classmates and friends were not, and it had little to do with wealth. At the University of Illinois, I did encounter a college advisor who tried to steer me away from the law, undoubtedly because of my gender. He did convince me that I might not have a future at the U of I Law School, but he didn't dampen my ambition for a career in the law. Later, at the University of Iowa College of Law, I encountered law professors who resented having even a few female students in the class. We were told to our faces that we did not belong there, that we were taking up a slot that a man could have who would support a family, and that we were just there to catch a husband. Now, the last part amused me because my husband and I, who met in college, attended law school together, so we'd already caught each other by the time we got there. And after graduation, I had difficulty getting started because no one wanted to hire a young woman lawyer. They said, well, what would we do with you? No client is going to want to talk to you. We just can't imagine that there's any place for you in the law. So even after all that, it was tough. But even after I became a judge, I encountered an occasional roadblock. Once I attended a judicial committee meeting in Chicago, and the chairman had arranged for it to be held at a private club that admitted only men. When I arrived, a man I can only describe as a bouncer told me I wasn't going in. When I finally made it past him to the meeting room, I encountered another woman judge who was one of the other probably 2 or 3 women judges south of Interstate 80, who had also been accosted by the same fellow. I asked her how she got by him. Well, you observe I'm of rather a petite stature, and my friend is a much more impressive woman. She was much taller than the bouncer. She said she looked down on the top of his head and offered to hurt him if he didn't let her by. I guess that explains why he backed down so quickly when I came along, because all I did was ask for his name so I could spell it right when I wrote a letter to his boss. Looking back, it is easy to make light of the challenges that I and other women and minority attorneys of my generation faced. At the time, these things hurt, and some of us faced very real and cruel prejudice. While that situation has improved, particularly in my profession, it is still a fact of life, unfortunately. If I have any wisdom to share with you, based on my own experiences, it's that my progress from small-town girl to Chief Justice was propelled by 3 things: my own persistence, a changing society, and the support and encouragement of my family and several mentors. First, I was persistent. If one door closed, I knocked on another until I found a way forward. You don't need validation from anyone else. You are the source of your own confidence, your own ambition, and your own persistence. Obstacles may well be placed in your way, but no one can make you quit. No one can make you give up on your dreams. Winston Churchill once said, "Never give up. Never, ever, ever give up." Second, while our society still poses more obstacles to some people than to others, you cannot wait for change to open the door for you. You have to forge ahead. If you can't get past an obstacle, find a way to go around it. Don't waste time and opportunity bemoaning the fact that some people have an easier path in life. Recognize that nobody has a free ride. One thing I've learned after raising my own family and presiding at hundreds of trials is that it's easy to think that people that live in great houses or are rich and successful have an easy time of it. But you don't know what burdens other people wear. So run your own race. Envy only weakens you. It does not strengthen you. And third, look around for allies. Many of us are blessed with families who support and encourage our efforts. But even if you're one of those people whose family puts the fun in dysfunctional, you can look to others for support. Build your own coalition. I'll give you the same advice I give young lawyers. Find mentors for yourself. You may find someone at work or at church or in the community who will invest in your success by helping you navigate the working world and teaching you the lessons they learned the hard way. At the same time, give support to others, to your children, your nieces and nephews, young cousins, other youth in the community. There are young people here today who saw you march in and began to think, maybe I could do that. Be sure you pay it forward so that they in a few years can be sitting where you are tonight. In the end, I'd like to leave you with the words of that great early 20th century philosopher, Winnie the Pooh, a bear of very little brain, but of a great heart. He said, "You are braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, and smarter than you think." Thank you, and congratulations.
Good evening. I'm Ellen Schmidt, the Interim Director of the Parkland College Foundation. They say that the strength of a community college lies with the achievements of their alumni. On behalf of the Parkland College Foundation, I'm proud to award the 2015 Distinguished Alumnus Award to Charles Smith. This honor recognizes exceptional alumni and is awarded for personal and professional accomplishments and service to the community. Charles has served the Village of Rantoul for more than a decade as a village trustee and now in his second year as the mayor, where he directs budgetary planning and facilitates economic development for the area. Parkland College served as the foundation of his successes. Charles earned his associate in applied science degrees in food distribution and marketing mid-management from Parkland. A lifelong learner, he went on to earn a Bachelor of Arts degree from Eastern Illinois University and was also a member of the Alpha Sigma Lambda Honor Society. His commitment to his community is not only witnessed through his work as a leader, but also through his community service through the Exchange Club of Rantoul. Please join me in recognizing Charles Smith, the 2015 Distinguished Alumnus Award recipient.
Thank you, Ellen. Thank you, President Ramage and board at Parkland. Thank you and the foundation for this award. This is the most unexpected award. I look out over this class and I see young people, and I was sitting there in 1977 class, 38 years ago. I'd like to talk to you for a moment about Parkland What starts here should never stay here. My personal philosophy is the education we receive as a student should be shared in our society. As we share the knowledge we gained here, we are obligated to enrich the lives of others. As we share our education in the world, we gain a greater sense of security in ourselves. It's funny how that system works, but it does work wonderfully well. The education that I received here established a foundation for the career path that I had chosen. The Parkland experience was a life-changing experience. I was taught to learn. I built relationships with faculty and established a strong network of friends while here. Parkland also made accessibility to Eastern Illinois University easy by providing an Eastern off-site location on their campus. After attending EIU, I soon realized how well prepared I was for the higher level of education. I am so proud of this college and the contribution that it has made to our community. I will never forget my journey through Parkland and how education shaped my life and made a brighter future possible. Now, many years later, I still use the experiences gained here to start another phase of my career. In May of 2013, I ran for the highest elected office in the community. Thanks to the citizens of Rantoul, I'm in a position of leadership as its mayor. Rantoul is the third largest community in Champaign County. The village employs 128 employees, and we have an annual budget of $40 million. Approximately 13,000 residents call Rantoul home. I never dreamed that my life would have been this fulfilling or rewarding. So, fellow alumni, I want to encourage each of you to stay steadfast in your determination to succeed in whatever career field you've chosen. I would like for you to be determined to make a difference in your life and also in the lives of others. I encourage you to learn to trust your own judgment and to lead with the knowledge that you have received an excellent education. For many of you, a new college or technical training experience is waiting. Some of you will attain bachelor's degrees, master's degrees, even PhDs. Still others, it's off to workplace to actively pursue your new career. Regardless of your decision, I extend my personal congratulations to the class of 2015. And remember, we're all connected by our history to Parkland. I would like to take a moment to thank my wife, Linda, who has stood beside me for 47 years of marriage. She graduated from Parkland College, Eastern Illinois University, and currently holds a master's degree from the University of Illinois. Linda and I are fortunate enough to have 3 children. Michael and his wife Tina are here tonight. Christine and Jana are also here. I've also been a very blessed man. I have 7 grandchildren. And I have 2 of my granddaughters here tonight. My oldest granddaughter is Michaela, and by the way, she just turned 17 on Tuesday. And of course, my lovely Reese. I'm glad that they are here to share this moment with me. And I want to thank Parkland College and the Foundation for this fine, outstanding award. Thank you.
Congratulations, well done. Thank you for being with us. Yes.
It is now my pleasure to announce the recipients of the honorary associate degree to Bergen and Maryland Park Hill. The Park Hills know that Parkland College offers educational opportunities that can open doors and change lives. Their commitment is reflected in the mission of the Parkland College and the Park Hill Applied Technology Center, where their philanthropic generosity supports the automotive program. Bergen Park Hill's 42 years in the automobile business makes it easy to understand their dedication. He was the longtime president of Park Hill Motor Sales, which merged to become Sullivan Park Hill Automotive and Sullivan Park Hill Imports in Champaign. Born and raised in Champaign, Bergen Park Hill graduated from Champaign High School and earned a Bachelor of Arts degrees from DePaul University in Greencastle, Indiana. That same year, he married Marilyn from Shaker Heights, Ohio. Marilyn earned her Bachelor of Science degree from DePaul. The Park Hill's commitment to the community extends to volunteerism. Bergen as past chairman of the Cancer Crusade, and Marilyn through her work with the CU Nursery School and the Champaign County Rehabilitation Center. On behalf of the Parkland College Foundation, I recommend Bergen and Marilyn Parkhill for an honorary associate degree.
On behalf of the Board of Trustees, it is my pleasure to give to Marilyn B. Parkhill the degree of Associate in Arts and honorary status in recognition of fulfillment of the requirements of this degree, awarded this evening at the commencement exercise. Congratulations. Again, my pleasure on behalf of the Board of Trustees to award to Bergen Parkhill the degree of Associate in Arts at Parkland College. Congratulations. Thank you both very much.
Thank you, Ellen, for those kind words. And thank you, Dr. Ramage, Board of Trustees, Parkland students, graduates. Before you get your degree this evening, I have one more history lesson for you. There won't be a test. Your education continues. When I was your age, we had a gas station on every corner, a grocery store in every block, and 5 car dealerships in every town. Today, we have a bank on every corner. In the 50s, there were 44,000 automobile dealers, and today there are 18,000. Why do I mention this? Because the gas station, the farming community, and the World War II vets returning were where we got our mechanics. We now call them auto technicians. Back then, all you had to really know was what the spark plugs did, the condenser, the ignition points, and if you're really good, you could overhaul a carburetor and replace a needle valve and seat. Cars were relatively simple in those days. In one of my business classes in college, our class was given an assignment to write a paper about a guy named Thomas Watson and a company, a little startup company he had just started called IBM. In my research for the paper, and the first thing I did was try to figure out what IBM meant, I found out that he developed a computer that spit out 3x8 cards with a lot of information on them. Further research showed that that computer was as big as a living room. I saw a little future for it in everyday life for the average person because of its size, and felt that really it was only good for government or large corporations. Boy, was I wrong. By the late 60s and early 70s, American ingenuity and IBM gave us transistorized ignitions, fuel injection, and steel-belted radial tires. Finally, our cars would start on a 0-degree morning. Also in 1967, Parkland College started classes, and Lane Eichhorn and the auto program soon followed. Today, Parkland has a plethora of current courses that prepare students for the real world and the training that organizations require to fill their needs. General Motors and Ford contributed current model automobiles for educational purposes. Parkland College was on its way. From those early days to now, Park Hill Motor Sales, later Sullivan Park Hill Automotive, Sullivan Park Hill Imports, have employed over 50 students from the Parkland Automotive Program and other curriculums. Many other dealerships in Illinois have also benefited from this institution. Your tech center is a shining example of the progress you have made in advancing mechanical technology. It is our honor and privilege to support an organization that is dedicated to sending people, both young and old, into the world with the education to compete in the workplace and become contributing members of society. There's an old saying in the aviation business: when they hand you your pilot's license and you've learned to fly an airplane, now you have a license to learn. Get ready to learn. Godspeed to you all, and God bless America.
Graduates, I promise we are just about to turn our full attention to you. But I think you would agree that tonight is a most appropriate night to honor some of the faculty who helped you get here this evening. It is my true honor to present 3 of our very finest. First, I'd like to introduce to you and recognize Parkland's selection for the Parkland Teaching Excellence Award for 2015 from the Department of Social Sciences and Human Services, Associate Professor Amy Myers. Professor Myers, please stand and be recognized. Parkland's nominee for the Illinois Community College Trustees Association Outstanding Full-Time Faculty Award from the Department of Mathematics, Associate Professor Dr. Aaron Wilding Martin. Dr. Wilding Martin, would you please stand to be recognized? And Parkland's nominee for the Illinois Community College Trustees Association Outstanding Part-Time Faculty Award from the Department of Fine and Applied Arts, Instructor Greg McMonagle. Greg, would you please stand to be recognized? Candidates for degrees and certificates, please rise. President Ramage, upon the recommendation of the faculty and on their behalf, I present to you the candidates for degrees and certificates for the class of 2015.
Well done. Dr. Young, on behalf of the Board of Trustees, I accept the candidates for certificates and degrees.
I need the card. Okay, thank you. Candidates for certificates. Kevin Banker. Gabrielle Anastasia Parker. Annie Preston. Rafael Rodriguez. John Smith. Connor Marie Williford. Candidates for the associate degree: Brittany Ackerman. Jamelia A. Adams. Erica Agans. Paula Albin. Kayla Olivia Alvarado. Francisco Ambrose. Jasmine Pearl Ash. Jonathan Ashikian. Michelle Renee Baker. Kadisha Balazzi. Anne Elise Barnaby. Anastasio Basilio. Christopher Basulto. Tahar Baziz. Andrea Beaver. Tiffany Marie Beelan. Joshua Bell. Mary Bennett. Jordan Wayne Bidner. Renee Blocker. Carlos Bocanegra Cordova. Jacob Bow. Kelly Ann Brooks. Cassandra Brown. Daryl Brown. Cody Brown. Stanley Todd Bruger. Kelly Renee Buckman. Marcus R. Buchanan. Jordan Butts. Tiffany Byrne. Saul Cajabilca. Carissa Camden. Monica Elizabeth Campos. Carrie Carlson. Brooke Chapman. Brandon Cherry. Ricardo Colon. Keith Roxanne Concepcion. Brianne Ray Condi. Chase Alexander Cook. Madison Cooper. Caitlin Christine Cordell. Jesse Aaron Kotner. Haley Cox. Willie Kraft Jr. Kendall Croy. Brian Dash. Luke Davenport. Patrick James Davis. Rukia Davis. Mary Elizabeth Delaney. Manuel Varela Diaz. Christian Jamin. Danielle Drent. Ellen McHale Dunham. Armani Dunn. Allison Elizabeth Dwyer. Adrian Enriquez. Veronica Del Irwin. Jacob Esbenshade. Dominique Corrine Farnsworth Wall. Brandon Finke. Stacy L. Fisher. Kelly Rose Flanagan. Kyle Fletcher. Tamisha Foy. Joe Freeman. Michaela Marie Fredrickson. Craig Fritz. Mary Kate Giesland. Brandon Gerber. Chelsea Gerber. Kyle Justy. Sarah Glapinski. Alexandra Soledad Gonzalez. Kenya Gonzalez. Adam Gorsuch. Andrew Green. Isella Rose Guerra. Madonna Gupta. Emma Lena Hawk. Devin Haas. Kelsey Janelle Haas. Hunter Hale. James Hall.
Melissa Hall. Jade Nicole Harms. Lynette Harney. Kyle E. Harriger. Casey Taylor Hatfield. Mitchell Hauser. Lauren Elaine Hay. Mallory Hendren. Brittany Shante Hendricks. Jamie McCole Hilligos. Tammy Hudson. Annette M. Huss. Azre Ibrahim. Melanie Iverson. Reuben Roy James. Connor Levi Jeffries. Pamela Jenkins. Shola John. Amber Nicole Johnson. Teresa Lynn Johnson. Sterling Jones. Von Juan Jones III. Nor Judah. Sabrine Judah. Stephanie Cabe. Vangel Kasapov. Taylor Kaufman. Sean Keck. Stephanie Keith. Monica Kennedy. Cherie Kenyon. Amanda Pauline Kearns. Alicia Kidd. Patience Kleka. Cody Nur. Kurt Russell Nolenberg. Michelle Lampert. Hannah Sarie Lepane. Sarai. Daniel Large. Carrie Ledford. Krista Shea Lenz. Benjamin J. Lyles. Katrina May Lindsay. It's all right. Lucas Robert Lindsay. April Renee Lloyd. Valerie Logue. Kalista Lutz. David Lyons. Alina Lynn Leischer. Logan Manuel. Sheena Marshall. Juan Jose Martinez. Kelly E. Martinez. Megan Masney. Sarah Defy Mavromatis. Cliff Mayotte. John McCarry. Johnny McClendon Jr. Michelle Louise McGrew. Tevin McClin. Joshua Morgan McQuaid. Laura McQueen. Linda Michelle McCauley. Hector Melchor Hernandez. Kelly Michael, sorry. Ashley Miller. Carly Miller. Danielle Miller. Carrie Ann Mingo. Emmanuel Molina. Teresa Marie Monroe. Connor Munson. Kennedy Lane Moore. Taya Morgan Perry. Ryan Morrow. Melissa Ann Munster. Brady Allen Musson. Daria Nelidova. Jed Niemeyer. Jocelyn Page Norfleet. Ariel Ochoa. Mary Odom. Nicholas Robert Olier. Tyler Malowski Olson. Kendall Eric Owens. Peggy Paisley. Raymond Parrott. Jenny Lynn Olmstead. Sarah Catherine Policki. Arati Podell. Janice Payne.
Nakaira Payne. Erica Perez. Marilyn Perez. Bruce Allen Peters. Gage Peters. Trevor Peterson. Samantha Lynn Pomrenke. Margaret Potter. Chad Priest. Shannon LeClaire Ron. Meredith Ramshaw. Jacob Thomas Rao. Mason Ray. Philip Raymer. Meredith I. Reinger. Tana Renschler. Rhonda Renee Roden Angel. Amy Richardson. Makisha Riley. Andres Rojas. Omar Rojas. Luis Alejandro Rojas Beliandra. Shaked Ron Rubenstein. Carly Rook. Sarah Elizabeth Rose. Gloria Lee Rubel. Logan Randall Runyon. Dawn Marie Russell. Jennifer Schultz. Belinda Schneider. Carolyn Denise Scott. Shania Sears. Sydney Schaefer. Tammy Renee Shanley. Allie Shupko. Cole Shoemaker. Candice Marie Simpson. Andrea Slagle. Diamond Smith. Austin Allen Smith Henry. Michael Soltis. Sage Samantha Spencer. Raymond Steinbaugh. Sarah Delynn Streval. Atlee Stumpf. Diane Stunkard. Cassie Sterdevin. Joseph Romulus S. Talavera. Heidi Renee Tanzi. Shannon Tavener. Dustin Telshow. Anthony Ray Thomas. Hannah Thompson. Rachel Thompson. Joanna Elise Timbrook. Myra Alejandra Torres. Taylor Jules Tereskis. Congratulations. Abigail Vanderkloot. Tara Waldrop. Larissa Walls. Victoria Worf. Hillary Lorraine Webb. Aaron Weckhorst. Sarah Montana Weed. Cody Windling. Mackenzie Westwater. Yamane Vijayse Kare. Catherine Ann Wildman. Ian Ryan Williams. Darcy Winkler. Jesse Winter. Charity Charnay Woods. Andrew Philip Woolley. Catherine Yao. Alyssa Marie Yard. Shuya Yu. Leslie Diane Zaff. Tiffany Sarnze.
Now, my fellow graduating class of 2015, it is time. Please rise. We worked so hard, and now, please join me in turning our tassels from right to left. You can be seated now if you want.
And I get to follow that. Actually, I would invite everyone to stand as we conclude with the benediction. Let us pray. God of all creation, you sustain us. You bless us. As we begin new journeys, some to continuing education, some to the start of new careers, some to new communities, some discerning the new places that life will take them. Wherever our journey takes us, make us good stewards of all that you have blessed us with. Make us good citizens, boldly working for peace and for justice throughout our global neighborhood. For all that we have gained here, for what we have to offer the world, we thank you. Amen.